Hey there, folks. You are listening to the Drunk Pen Writing Podcast. In today's episode, we try to come up with a story, and we ended up just talking about hookers for a long time. So I would say that was a failure. It's kind of entertaining. We get into a little bit of Stephen King talk, and then we finish on some comic books and what we've been reading. I hope you enjoy. And we're back! Yeah. Today we are going to be discussing horrors, apparently.
I mean, why not?
It doesn't vary from any other day.
Yeah, this time it's just being recorded.
That we know of.
Yeah.
We know this one's recorded, but there's been other times you're not quite sure about.
I'm sure the government has listened to some of them, but I mean...
I feel bad for that government.
Right?
Like, if anybody has to check my phone history,
They need a medal.
But anyway, I say horror story because we were trying to think of an idea for a story we could discuss, and Spencer decided that a haunted horror ghost, is that what it was?
Something like that, yeah.
Haunted horror ghost, demon, I think ghost.
Ghost. Ain't afraid no ghost.
Ain't no ghost around here. And this horror ghost, well, how do you catch the horror ghost? Because we're going to have it that you get possessed with the horror ghost, but do you have to have sex with the horror ghost first, or do you just have...
Yeah, any of her Johns.
But who was the first John? That's the backstory.
Well...
Is there a fucking drag race outside?
I didn't know we were podcasting inside of Daytona.
Yeah, Jesus. I wonder if that'll show up on there. Anyway,
Well, you could have, because I was thinking it'd be, an old-timey hooker from, the 20s or something like that.
I'm thinking Jack the Ripper era hooker.
Oh, okay.
What if Jack the Ripper...
Because I was going to say that John would kill the hooker, which would make her want to then, kill...
And then she comes back as a ghost, and she's still tricking, but her tricks go to hell. Well, maybe not that extreme, but... So she possesses...
So we'd have to have it set in England, then.
It doesn't have to be in England. I mean, it doesn't have to be Jack the Ripper. That bring in some views.
Yeah.
There'll be some readers to that because a lot of people like Jack the Ripper. And if he killed a hooker, and then maybe she came back and killed him.
Maybe.
But anyway, so this hooker is possessed. Hooker ghost. And I feel like hooker's kind of harsh. I mean, she already got murdered. Lady of the evening. What did they call them back in those days?
I want to say mistress, but that's not...
Harlots?
It's not... There's harlots, there's... the Lady of the Night, there's... Streetwalker.
Don't get confused with Blade as the Daywalker.
Yeah.
Don't call Blade a Streetwalker. Okay, so whatever this hooker is, I feel like her name should be like Agnes. Magda. Yolma. Something...
You don't want Trixie?
Trixie? Oh, that seems tried and true.
Two on the nose, or...
So how do we start this off? You started off with a good scene where I'm thinking, if we just go with the Jack the Ripper angle, I'm thinking you have foggy London night. You see the girl walking down the street, and then they don't really have cars. So how do you pick up a hooker in Victorian England? Was that Victorian England? Late 1800s, something like that?
Something like that. I mean, they had the coaches.
Did have I feel like you would put a lot of trust in your coach driver, though. I
mean, probably back then, if you had enough money for a coach, you probably own that coach driver as much as you own the horse.
I don't think that's how it worked. I mean, if you're a rich guy, yeah, but I think you could rent them like taxis.
Yeah. Do you think there's have been people that had hookers and taxis in New York or anything like that?
I don't know. Imagine you just got done fresh off a hooker kill.
Yeah. And
you're trying to get out of there, so you flag down a passing cabbie. I think that's what they called him back then. And your coach pulls Bill Fagger back.
Why?
I don't know. I see he'd be that guy.
he's just the driver. Or could he be the prostitute?
Oh, God. That may be why he's killing people. Okay, so Bill Fagger back aside. You have the scene foggy night, Hooker's walking, gets picked up by a John somehow. Do you immediately put her backstory, or do you leave her kind of a mystery? I think leaving her a mystery would be the best way to go.
Yeah. When I originally just was thinking about what you were talking, my idea was to not even start with the old, like when she died, just
modern time.
Yeah, modern time. They could literally start with just some, gross, nasty dude, just like and
smacking into a refrigerator,
and just like in some weird dark alley somewhere, just really like
slopping around like a knife in a jar of mayonnaise,
and then finishes, and that when it happens, and then maybe go a little bit further, and then kind of dive back in like a flashback or something like that. So because then like you do the first person of the ghost hooker.
You mean put her in first person?
Yeah, is that where the story is through? Like her, like, I can't, you got another guy.
I don't think that would be that scary. Because if you did a damn ambulance now, the drag race is getting out of control. Yeah. If you put the story from her eyes, I feel like it'd be more tragic than scary.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going a horror route, I would assume we're going a horror route with Haunted Hooker.
You don't see the comedy in that?
Oh, there's comedy. Oh, you can definitely have some humorous parts, especially how she kills them.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd be lampooning the horror genre by going almost Leprechauns in the Hood-esque, like, too campy. Maybe like a...
See, I was almost thinking like a little more on the, like, Evil Dead side of, like...
Yeah, there you go.
It's funny, but it's also super gross.
See, it's a cool
story.
But
that'd be a little bit harder maybe to pull off in just the written form than it is in a movie or a TV show.
Right. See, on the nose, it's kind of a corny idea. Oh, yeah. Haunted Hooker, okay. But, I mean, if you really put it in there, you can make it a tragic story, a dramatic story, a dramatic horror story, almost like I wouldn't necessarily say the first Nightmare on Elm Street, but when they redid Nightmare on Elm Street, they kind of try to make you feel bad for Freddy until, like, the very end. Because, like, he got burned up, and they try to make it seem like he was innocent for a little bit. So you could almost get, like, that picture, like, you feel bad for the hooker.
Yeah.
And you see, like, maybe you give her little flashes of backstory with her kids or her family. And then she gets killed. And then, bam, haunted hooker. Or maybe her family gets killed. There's so many ways you go about doing that.
That's the one thing, like, I had the trouble with, like, okay, finding an idea for the story. And then, like, I come up with an idea for a story. Then it's like, how do I want to write this story?
You just want to take it, like, too many angles?
I've almost thought about, like, taking an idea and writing it multiple different stories. Like, more like a comedy version of that story, an action version of that story, and more of a, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe that'd be something for a future, like, month. Like, every week do a different version on the same kind of story.
What are you doing? Mindy. Oh, you're gonna take the dog out? Drag races outside?
Yeah. Say, what did she say? No.
Boner.
Do that one more time. That was hilarious.
Do what?
No. Alright, have a good time. Don't get pregnant. Anyway, so we were talking about dirty skank hookers. Okay, it's working. Oh god, the spikes went up. Oh, my headphones wasn't on straight. I was like, why can't I hear myself right? If we go with your idea, the hooker ghost, she kills the John. So we started off with a very unromantic sex scene.
Yeah, just gross.
Just a fat guy, rolls, like big pepperoni nipples. I'm thinking back acne and front acne.
There's a mustache.
A very crusty, thin mustache. Maybe like a leftover, like, piece of pizza.
Those, like, super thin rimmed glasses. Like, the wire, it almost looks like it's like a coat hanger.
He's, like, trying to save, like, hold on to his hairline, but it's all the way at the top of his middle, like, the middle of his head.
Like an even gross George Costanza.
Pretty much. There's an episode about George Costanza eating food in bed, if you remember.
I do remember that episode. And then he just had to watch the game and got too cocky, got caught.
That's how it always goes. fly too close
Which
to
I
the
don't know
sun.
why you would want to try to watch a baseball game while you're giving it to the missus.
Maybe it's not very good. I don't know. How do we start with the... Like, we can't just go into they're doing it and then he gets murdered. You want to have at least a hint of a motive, you would think, unless you're doing a mystery. So, like, why would this woman...
Just because she got killed by a John, so...
But, you can't discuss that till you go to the flashback. So, maybe she leaves some kind of token or something that would hint to what she's doing? And are we going with this? She just kills these guys, or are we doing the possession things?
I originally thought just killed. I don't know how. Well, like, okay, let's go with the possession. Like, what would you're talking about it as almost like an
STD.
And then what would it do? Just then kill them then later?
I would imagine it would ruin their life. Like,
maybe eventually after a couple weeks of having sex with her, like all of her victims commit suicide or something like that.
I'm thinking almost like you remember their Thinner?
Yeah.
Stephen King's Thinner. Well, that guy, he kept getting thinner, and at first it was okay, but then he started withering away, and it was almost like he was an AIDS patient.
Yeah.
Like he was really sickly, like an 80s AIDS patient, where it's like, oh, he's going to die, and he was hating life, he was miserable, he was treating everybody like shit. Like, I would imagine that it could be something like that. I mean, unless you want to go Exorcist style, where they're just spinning heads and shooting green shit, but the only problem with that is, I mean, if we go the STD kind of route, that means that fat guy would get another hooker and give it to that hooker.
Yeah.
And I feel like if a hooker got killed, she wouldn't want to necessarily have other women get killed.
And that just kind of spreads it out into like a spider web of like, you need a flowchart of who fucked who to give who what.
Yeah, it would be bad. And what if it did like a 3-way or something? Does everybody get it?
So maybe we just have her kill the Johns, and maybe not like as we were talking about before recording of just like it cuts the penis off. Maybe she just...
You're really about that penis cut.
Well, no, I'm saying maybe not do the penis cut, but she stabs him through the chest with a big like...
Butcher knife or something.
Butcher knife, or maybe since she's a ghost, she can make like ghostly kind of weapons and uses that to like cut a limb off or like, you know what I mean?
What if Jack the Ripper was actually a lady and he somehow became the ghost hooker? Jane the Ripper. Or... No, that's no good.
Because then why would that...
Because Jack the Ripper, he kills people.
But like if Jane the Ripper was a prostitute?
I would say she wasn't a prostitute. I'd say she got rejected by prostitutes, and maybe she was too ugly, and she fucking was pissed off. So she was the one that was back in the day killing prostitutes, and they thought it was a guy. Mm-hmm. And then maybe somehow she ended up getting murdered or possessed or something, and her spirit gets pushed to the future, and she comes back and poses as a prostitute to kill these guys. And then again, that's if we're going with the future angle of the story. If we just stick with Victorian England, then you can just do a whole Jack the Ripper story where he ends up being a woman.
Yeah.
Which would be cool, too. No possession, but... The possession idea, actually, now I think about it, kind of reminds me of that movie It Follows.
But yeah, I never got around to watching it.
Yeah, see, that was kind of about... It was like allegory for sex, or STDs. So if you had sex with somebody who was possessed by this creature, this thing would follow you, and it's kind of like that. Anyway, so we have to set some kind of standard here. So we're going to go with just the murdering.
Okay.
We have to establish why she's murdering by, I would say, at least a third of the way into the story.
Yeah.
Depends how long the story is, but she's killing guys. There has to be a reason. If we go with just she got killed, okay. But I feel like, the murder would have to be extra violent to elicit such like a ghoulish ghost.
Maybe have it be like, after she murders so many Johns, she's able to pass on, maybe?
Perhaps. Or perhaps she's trying to kill, like, the relatives of who killed her.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a gang that killed her, and she wants to, almost Crow style, she wants to get revenge on each member of the gang's family because it's too far in the future. The only problem with that is I feel like something would have to release this lady. How does she come into the future without killing people beforehand?
Well, I think that would be the thing. Like, if we did that one, I think that would be best if we just took place in the future. Forget the whole Victoria angle. And then just, she got raped and murdered by a whole group of people, and then, took one for her bloody revenge afterwards.
I feel like I've heard that story before, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a common...
I mean, besides, like, The Crow, I've heard, like, almost like a Kill Bill, but more of a haunted version.
It's kind of almost like a ghost version of, like, I Spit on Your Grave, almost.
Right.
If that chick died instead of just...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely want to have an original spin on it. Or you could do Jason X style, evil hooker ghost in space.
Ooh.
Because that movie wasn't terrible at all.
Come on.
Or was that Jason X, or was it called Jason Goes to Space? If it was Jason Goes to Space, that's extra terrible. I only seen it a couple times.
Yeah. I will always remember, the one thing I will always remember from that movie is whenever he's using one of the fucking simulated campgoers to beat the other one to death. Like,
yeah, she was in a sleeping bag and he's just whipping the other one with her. That movie, or no, yeah, because I know he definitely whipped some campgoers in a sleeping bag, like a tree or something. I think he was beating them off each other.
Yeah, and that's the one where he was like 10 feet tall, wasn't he?
Yeah, it would be a good idea for probably comic books would be a better medium for this. But what if we did like Hell? Like, you do a story where Hell is its own kind of city and everything where people live, and obviously it's not a good place. But there's going to be hookers in Hell, right?
Ooh.
So they're still working on the job.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's their punishment, is they're hookers forever. But you could do an angle like that, and then maybe one escapes Hell. And then, still, that doesn't explain why she'd be a hooker up top.
Do you think it would change the story instead of, like, having it be, like, a street hooker that gets murdered? Or if other than it being, like, a high-end...
escort.
Yes.
High-class escort.
Yeah, that gets raped, murdered.
What if we made it where you think it was the rape victim, the murder victim, who was haunting these, like, came back as, like, a spirit and was killing people, but it turned out she had a twin sister. Dun, dun, dun. Or something along those lines. I would like to see this story take place somewhere outside of the U.S. so you could really do some cool murders.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if it was in the U.S., like, she would get shot or something.
What about up in Canada?
Canada. There's not many good haunted stories out of Canada that I ever hear of.
Haunted moose. Ghost moose.
She could be walking in the cold. A guy feels bad, picks her up.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of serial killers that were in Canada on, like, a stretch of highway. That would be a story. Like that, what was her name? Eileen something. She was that movie that Charlize Theron played her.
In that monster movie?
Yeah. She, what was her name? Eileen Waltros, something like that. But she would, like, guys would pick her up on the interstate or something, and then she would murder them. She was like a hooker.
Yeah.
Maybe do a spirit version of that.
You think she get, like, that stretch of highway or wherever that is, that's where she died, so she haunts that, that stretch. And maybe what the story is just the John, or the guy who comes picks her up, who has, like, no intentions on trying to do anything with her.
Help her out.
And it's just like him trying to escape, and maybe, like, once you get past a certain point of that stretch of road or whatever, she can't reach you anymore or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be more of, like, an escape, like, but it would have to be, like, long. You'd have to maybe have, like, the car break down, so he's have to try to, like, hoof it on foot, when the weather's all bad.
You would definitely have to have something to... Well, you'd also have to establish how he would know that if he got to a certain point, she wouldn't be...
Yeah. Because
is she just in the vehicle with him, or is she just following him?
We're going to have it be set up as, like, a urban legend.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, shit, it's real, or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. I'm almost envisioning the hitchhiker story from Creepshow.
Yeah.
Where the lady, every time she ran over that hitchhiker, and then every time she thought he was gone, he'd just pop up, like, on a roof, or she just kept popping up, or he kept popping up everywhere. You could have the evil hooker lady like that, and she gets more grotesque as the story goes on. Here's a topic we haven't really touched on. What about, like, a sex trafficking or some kind of sex exchange? Like, maybe she
like
was
Russia?
forced. Yeah, like sent from Russia, and she was forced into it. And then that would explain like the revenge aspect. Like they broke up her family. Again, does she have to be dead? Are we doing the haunt? Does she have to be a haunted hooker?
Would you just kill a hooker?
Just a regular killer hooker? Maybe she makes people think she's dead, but she's not.
That seems like a lot of work for a hooker.
It also kind of seems messed up if she's having sex with these guys first. Like, why would you do that? Kill them before you do that. That's what I would do.
Maybe they're like strong, powerful dudes that you won't be able to get a chance to.
Once they release their seed, they're all weak and fragile.
Taking naps and want sandwiches and stuff. And
I feel like the real thing, like the real evil intention, would just to not let them finish.
No, this is blue balls.
Just keep flicking them in the nut.
The dickhead.
There are a lot of creepy dudes out there. I was just reading this thing on Reddit. This lady, I think she lived in England or something. She was American. She worked at this office. There was this dude that sat next to her, and she really didn't talk to him very much. Just like maybe was nice to him once in a while. And then when she got another job, she was moving away. He ended up coming to her house when she wasn't home. Somebody called the cops, and he got like arrested for stalking. And he sent her like, it was like a year's worth of like these ridiculous letters about how he loved her and all this stuff. But he acted like he was like, it was his diary, I guess, but he acted like she was his girlfriend or something already, and it was just really disturbing. It's like, there's people out there like that.
Yeah, man.
He gave her like pet names and stuff.
People are weird. They get all.
I saw another story. This weird chick. I saw a video of her talking. She was like out there. She sent this guy over 65,000 text messages. Like, who sends that many text messages?
Yeah.
Because she wanted, I don't know, I guess him to hang out or something. So we got haunted hookers and non-haunted hookers.
I mean, we definitely, from the beginning of it, that definitely...
We went really off track.
Well, I mean, that's an idea of an idea of an idea.
It's just what idea do you like the most?
Yeah. Maybe that's something we can do. Maybe, like how we was talking about writing a story different ways. Maybe you write a version of this story, and like I write a version of this story.
Just have a month's worth of hooker stories.
And just, well, I mean, depending on how long it is, we do one week, the other one the next week, depending on...
Right. That could be fun. Be a good writing exercise anyway.
I kind of like, once we got to that, like, haunted stretch on the highway or whatever that was, with the urban legend stuff, that kind of, like, once we hit that kind of, like, oh, that seems like that could be,
yeah,
kind of cool.
Well, we could flesh that out more. Do you go with her backstory? I mean, she has to have a motive for killing random dudes on the highway.
Because that's where she died.
Did she just get murdered on the highway? Did she get hit? Was she even a hooker to begin with? Maybe she doesn't have to be a hooker.
Maybe, yeah.
Just a chick on the highway.
Well, no, I think it has to be, you'd go hooker because the urban legend is about how there was the hooker on, the hooker of...
The lone hooker.
Of whatever you want to, stretch road you want to call it.
It's got to have a cool name. But here's the problem. Why would guys pick up this hooker if that urban legend is out there?
Because, I mean, it's a fucking urban legend, and a guy
What if it's a whole car full of guys that want to be like, oh, dude, no way, is that really the chick? No, pick her up, and they're kind of boozed up.
Yeah, and then
fucking Molson.
And so she slowly takes out the group.
Yeah. They're drunk on Molson Canadian beer and Labatt's and whatever else, maple syrup or something. I feel like they would have to take her somewhere, though, to make it more. Maybe we do away with the whole stretch. Maybe there's like a motel right there on that stretch, and that's where she used to take her Johns.
Yeah.
Maybe they take her there. Like, maybe when she's in the car, they're like, oh, she's not really a ghost hooker. It's just stupid. So they take her to, like, the cheap motel. And then when they get in there, that's when weird shit starts happening.
Mm-hmm. So would we still have her be a spirit, or would she just to be a normal person then?
Oh, I think she's a spirit.
Okay.
Unless you want zombie hooker. That would stink. That wouldn't smell good either. Brains. That gives a different meaning.
Yeah.
Don't pantomime things like that. It's a family show.
What?
You know it would really suck if I had to censor the word hooker every time.
Oh, that would be bad. I almost kind of want to hear that though. Like, it'd be like 5 minutes long.
Just replace the word hooker with dog groomer every time. Haunted dog groomer.
Gets raped, murdered by...
by an overexcited Doberman.
That would change the story up some, too.
Or you could have a male prostitute.
Yeah.
Apparently that's the new thing. Did you hear that, apparently if you're a skinny, hairless dude now, you're a twink, even if you're not gay?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, shave your chest and be a twink.
So then all fat, hairy guys are bears, then?
That's what I was saying.
Even if...
You're straight.
Yeah.
That seems almost offensive.
The question is, can twinks only write about twink stories?
Ooh.
I think that's...
Twink fiction.
Yeah,
but if you're a straight guy now, I don't know. That opens it up more.
Yeah.
So now you can write about gay guys and non-gay guys. Before you could only write about non-gay guys. White non-gay guys. There's a lot of rules now. I haven't been following them too well.
No.
I thought about writing a story where the main character is just like an Aunt Jemima, super racist stereotype. And then I'm going to publish it under a pseudonym. Like my pen name will be like a black guy's pen name. And then when it gets published, I will come out as a white guy and see how much shit I get into.
That was so much.
Like, I saw, what was it?
The only way you could get into more shit is when you finally revealed yourself as if you were in blackface.
Oh,
that's the
no.
only thing that would make it worse.
Yeah, that would suck. I saw a thing, I think it was like a game developer or something. No, it was back a while ago, the guy that worked at Marvel. I forget if he was like an editor or something at Marvel, but he had a Japanese name.
Oh,
but then when he finally got promoted or whatever, they found out he just used that name. He was just a fat white guy.
Yeah, C.B. Badowski or something like that. He was like a talent scout guy, and then he got moved up to like the head editor, like the editor-in-chief or whatever.
Yeah, and then he got so much shit because he wasn't actually Japanese.
Yeah, well, and then, because it was a mixture of that and like, he's like, hey, I found this hot new writer, and like he wrote some books, but it's like, you didn't find the guy was you.
Oh, so he was just making up.
Yeah, he wrote those stories, and then did a...
So he was trying to like, that's a really weird way to get in the business, like...
Because like, he was looking... Because, like, I was saying, he was in the business as a talent scout anyways, and they were looking for more of, like, at the time, more of a... I don't know if it was just Japanese, but more of, like, a different culture, like...
Yeah, I thought it was, like, a Japanese name, but it could have been something else.
So, he comes up with this name, and is like, hey, this is a new guy that I found, and wrote these stories under this name, and then shortly after they announced him as the new editor-in-chief, they found out that was actually him writing those stories, not this.
So is he trying to get himself a job as a writer by being a talent scout to himself?
I guess, yeah.
How would that work?
I don't know what his end goal is.
Yeah, because then when they hire you, you're just going to be like, oh, Ichibuchi is not here today. He's sick.
You want to hear the weird fucking thing is, and I don't know why because I haven't looked that much up into the story, but... He hasn't been at Marvel for, like, the past couple months because, like, he is, like... He can't leave Japan for some reason. Like, I don't know if it's, like, something with, like, a passport.
He's stuck in Japan.
Or something, yeah. Like, he's not allowed to leave there yet.
Weird.
Or at least, he was. I don't know if he's back now by the time of this recording. Like I said, I haven't dug that much into the story because I didn't really give a shit, but I heard about that and I was like, that's ridiculous. Like,
it's very bizarre.
Marvel hired this new editor-in-chief and he can't even
be... It's a big job.
And he can't even be in the same country.
Because he's a fat Japanese guy in Japan, but he's
he's American.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's a fat Japanese guy in Japan, but he's not actually a fat Japanese guy. He's a fat white guy from America.
Yeah.
He just lied. And everybody got really mad at him. And then they forgot all about it because a bunch of other stuff happened.
Yeah. Marvel's a hot mess right now.
So what happens if we created a weird... Like, you could be Russian. Because is that racist? Because that would be just other white people. Like, if you pretended you're... Because that's why that guy got in trouble, right? Because he was faking Japanese. But what if he...
Well, I think he would have gotten in trouble if he used any kind of pen name.
Well, I mean, for Marvel he would have, but the public backlash.
Yeah.
But if he just gave himself a Russian name or like a German name, they wouldn't have thought it twice.
Probably not.
What if...
Because, I mean, we'll look at all the different times, like, you got, like, Stephen King wrote under Steve Bachman. You've had multiple authors that wrote different kind of stories under a different pen name for a while. Now, granted, none of them did, like, I don't think ever did, like, acted like they were, like, a different race or anything like that, but...
Probably wouldn't be cool. What if a Japanese guy pretended to be an American white woman? Or a black lady?
Those would probably be difficult. Now, if he just wanted to pretend to be a white guy...
I find it very weird when I see Japanese videos where they're doing blackface. Because over there, they don't have the standards of racism that we do.
Yeah.
So it's not racist to them. And then it comes over here and everybody gets really, really mad. But at the same time, they're already a minority anyway. But I guess, not in Japan they're not, but that's a really weird area.
I heard this thing about over in Japan, like, you have people, like, who will go, like, on runs and stuff outside, but they wear, like, full long sleeves and pants and stuff because they don't want to get any of the sun when they're running because it would make their skin tone darker. Like, the paler you are...
More attractive,
and I think just, like, a lot of, like, the higher up, like, big roller guys there are just kind of, like, these pasty, kind of, like,
super white Japanese dudes. Well, I know in South Korea they get, like, eye surgery to make their eyes wider.
Yeah.
And they look more Western. Like, that's kind of the look they go for. I didn't know they did that in Japan, because Japan's really...
Maybe it was China. I just remember hearing about it on another podcast before and just thinking, like, that's crazy.
It's very bizarre.
To kind of, like, make it into, like, especially because, all the big business over there, that's why, people want to...
Well, people get really offended if you tan too much. If you get, like, way past the Hulk Hogan tan.
How do you get past the Hulk Hogan tan?
You can get past the Hulk... You can go darker. It's very scary.
The only person I've ever seen go past the Hulk Hogan tan is the former CSM.
Oh, yeah. She went the Wesley Snipes tan.
Yeah, like...
That was bad.
And you could tell her skin paid for it.
Oh, yeah. She looks like an old shoe. She looks bad.
Real bad.
Man, I feel bad for that lady. But she did it to herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I never thought to myself, I would like...
And you rocked, like, the super blonde hair, so it just made it pop even more, like...
Yeah, it's like, why would you want to just make your skin leather? Can't feel good.
No, that's something that I always wonder when it gets that bad. Like, does it feel... Like, does your skin actually feel...
Like, do your boobs become, like, old footballs?
Like, can you, like, like, say you folded your arm and you just hear, like, that, like when you take, like a football or, like, something leather and move it around, how it has, like, that sound to it.
Your legs just swish around like a leather coat. Just... That's yucky.
Gross.
Here's your goal for the summer.
Okay.
Tan your lower body.
Well, I guess they are, like, at some tan salons, they have these machines where you can just stick your legs into, and so you just tan your lower half.
That's a thing.
I guess, because, then you wear, like, the little booty shorts and, but you can still wear a shirt. I don't
know. Only get half the cancer.
Half the cancer. You get the genital cancer or whatever.
Can you just do your genitals? Can I just have really tan balls? Can you tan your balls?
Because that's something I was wondering about, too, like, getting sunburn on your dick and balls.
You think you could build a base tan on it.
Yeah.
It's still skin.
And what would you do? Like, if you were trying to get a suntan, would you try to get, like, a hard-on and keep it on the whole time? Or do you, when it's flaccid and, like, it's...
You don't want any rolls, though.
Yeah, it's, like, rolly kind of still, and then you get the hard-on, so then you just got these lines of paleness.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Where the skin wasn't fully...
What about the scrotum? I mean, it has to be really hot, stretch it out.
Yeah. These are all very important questions.
These are questions that need answered immediately. Who do we take this up to? Bill Nye? Is he the guy? He's a science guy.
He might be, he's the science guy that could probably handle it.
I feel like if he ever came to town for, like, one of those lecture things, those interactive lectures, we couldn't go. Say, Bill, what happens if you tan your penis too much? Hey, Bill, can you darken your semen by tanning your penis too much?
Bill, how much can the anus, like, how big can it get?
How big is too big? It'll get gross very quick.
There's kids there.
Oh, there'd be a lot of children. You might get arrested.
Probably.
Can you get one half of your face tan and not the other? Sure you can.
Yeah, because, like, you see those chicks that do, like, the hearts and stuff, and I think they just put like a heart there when they get tanned. And
what happens if you go Roddy Piper? Remember when he did he painted half his body black for some reason?
Yeah.
And the other half was white? What happens if you just tanned your body that way? You go super dark on one side, and the other side you just kept in the shadows, so you're just really white on that side.
And then you just tell people you're half and half. You're biracial.
It's a very specific kind of biracial syndrome here. There's too many race questions we seem to be addressing on this show.
Every episode, I think.
Every episode. It's a hot topic issue.
Yeah.
Can't be any more offensive than talking about murdering a hooker for a half hour.
Nah. People don't like hookers.
You know what's really weird? As much as the whole women's movement's been happening, you don't seem to get any sympathy for hookers still. Like, if you're a porn star, hooker, escort, people still look down on that.
Yeah.
You think, like, with the women's empowerment, they'd be like, hey, it's alright, you're a
as
strong
long,
woman.
yeah, as long as you're not getting forced into it.
Yeah, right?
Like, if it's of your own, like...
Like a stripper who's just taking money from a bunch of... If you're getting thousands of dollars of guys' hard-earned money, they're the suckers, not you, for getting naked.
I mean, like, if I thought that I could get a decent amount of money because I thought chicks wanted to see me fling my Johnson around, I'd probably do it, but there's not a market out there for me.
Oh, yeah, you just sling that A-roll back and forth and get a couple $100. I mean, if you could give me, like, a steak sandwich or something, that'd be alright. I don't understand why that's frowned upon so hard. Because you're nude. Because this country has a problem with nipples.
Yeah, they can't stand the nipples.
Hate the nipple.
Did you ever see that one episode of Nip Tuck where there was a lady who wanted to get her nipples removed because they had like this weird thing they wanted to look like Barbie and Ken dolls?
Huh.
And so
I feel bad for Ken.
So like they show the chick without any nipples. Like, you still saw full breast and anything, but because you didn't see the nipple, they didn't have to blow anything out. And it was weird. It was weird to see, like, a boob without a nipple on it.
Did you know if you show a really fat, voluptuous guy's boobs on TV, if you don't show the rest of that guy, you have to censor the boob? But if you pan out and you just see that fat guy, you don't.
What about if it's, like, panned in, but there's a whole bunch of hair?
Well,
and it's obviously...
It's a tough one, but if it's zoomed in and there's just a chance you might think that's a woman's boob, that's a no-go. But if you could just see, like, the beard coming down, you might be alright. I always thought that was so weird. Like, why can you show man boobs but not women boobs? Because I've seen some perky man boobs.
Yeah.
I've seen some nice man tits. Or, like, you can't show wiener. Unless it's for comedy purposes and only for half a second.
And it has to be soft.
Obviously, you can never show a boner because that's illegal for some reason. But if you tuck it, you could show man cleavage, right? Yeah. Or not cleavage, the man-gina.
Yeah.
You could just show the strip, or sometimes it's hard to get that with the woman. Because I think you could, I'm sure it would be pushing the R rating, but if it was for like a second, like, you might be able to show the man-gina as long as nothing was shown there. And like, if there's no pubic hair especially, like, you might be able to get away with it. But if you did that with a woman just standing there, no.
Yeah.
That's a no-go. Anything with a lady. This is going to go down a really slippery slope.
Alright, let's do it.
You can see man boobs, right?
Yes.
As long as you know it's a man.
Yeah.
Can't see women boobs. I don't know, the judge is still out there on if, the jury's still out there if it's a woman who looks very manly. But what if you have a transgendered person? Man who still has a wiener but has big boobs?
You couldn't see them. Because they probably identify as a woman. So therefore you couldn't see the woman's boobs.
What if it is a crossdresser who identifies as a man but got a boob job? But you know what? I seen a guy who lost a bet and he got a boob job and they wouldn't let him show his boobs.
Yeah.
But he was clearly a gross looking man.
Yeah. Like I don't know about yours, but mine was like on, like, back whenever the poker was really big on TV there for a while. They were interviewing a couple of these guys, and a guy bet him, like, $50,000 that he wouldn't get a tit job and, like, keep it for, like, a month. And he did, to get, like...
He kept it longer, I believe.
Probably, because he probably started liking them. Like...
Probably comfortable. But that's weird, because they're just really stretchy.
Yeah.
But if he grew those naturally... just a fat guy who had a lot of extra estrogen, that's fine. If I was to create a TV show, I would push these boundaries. So what if you had a fat guy? It doesn't have to be a fat guy. I suppose there's skinny guys with man boobs out there, but usually fat guys have voluptuous breasticles. But if you had a man with boobs, what if you made him look as womanly as possible, but he still had like some facial hair or something? You know, you did a wig, put some makeup, like for a comedy effect or something, and he just went out there shirtless, but he had voluptuous boobs, but they were just his real boobs, not enhanced. Could you show that?
Like on NBC, probably not. FX, maybe.
FX, yeah, I think so. I feel like we should free the nipple.
Free the nipple?
It's really weird that because you can see almost all boob but nipple.
Yeah, and like the nipple is what makes it.
Even on NBC, you can see all boob, no nipple. And I think we've had this discussion many times. Why can you see
man nipple?
Well, I mean, why can't you have just nipple, but you can't see the rest of the boob? Why is that so bad? What is it with the nipple? What if you had a flesh-colored nipple?
Because you don't even get to see a lot of fake nipples either, like plastique nipples, or like, you know, like a comedy or something. You could have a reason for somebody to have like a
fake boob thing,
yeah, or something like that. You don't can't
even have mannequins with nipples.
No. Well, that's probably good though. There's some weirdos out there.
Yeah, but I feel like that's important for selling clothes. Girls want to know if their nipples are going to show.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
But then the thing, you have to have multiple mannequins with multiple size nipples, because there's multiple size nipples out there. It's not like a one nip all size.
Yeah, it's true. Well, here's another awful double standard. Men could just have, rock hard nipples all the time under the shirt and it shows and nobody cares. Women does it. That's the issue.
Yeah.
But again, if she's covered completely, how can you say, hey, your nipples are sticking out? That's not appropriate. That's a natural function of the body.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could maybe say, because, like, if they wasn't wearing a bra, I guess you could maybe be like, oh, she's not wearing a bra, like...
But you can't force somebody to wear a bra. I mean, that's not required dress code for anybody.
You should get rid of the... no, we probably should.
Like, imagine if you had a real hog, talking a knee slapper. You walking around in, like, sweatpants or basketball shorts. I mean, would you want somebody telling you, hey, you gotta put that thing away? You can't have that just slopping around side to side, slapping wherever it wants.
I'd be like, hey, what the...
You gotta roll it up and tuck it.
But see, that's the thing, like, nobody wants to see a dick. Like, even chicks, like, I've heard, like, chicks to be like, I can't stand to look at a penis. Like, I just kind of want it there and then, like, inside, and it'd be like... But to just, like, look at it, to where, like, everybody wants to see it, like, the nipple, like, female nipple.
It's such a raw deal. Nobody wants to see wiener.
No. The closest sometimes you can get away with is a sack.
Nobody wants to see that.
No, but you do sometimes see sacks on the telly or in a movie
for comedic purposes.
Yeah.
You never see man nudity as anything sexual. You see even like man ass. It's always for like laughs, shits and giggles.
Except in Game of Thrones, they just walk around with their dicks out sometimes.
I never watched Game of Thrones because I heard they walk around with their dicks out all the time. And the dragons never come.
The dragons do eventually come. It just takes like 3 years.
Yeah, I don't got 3 years of my time to wait for dragons. That show, I've seen some clips and that has some violence against women. Like a lot. George R.R. Martin is a weirdo.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a friend of ours who actually read the book series, and he'd be talking about like how George R. Martin would just, there would be like a page and a half of just like the food that's on the table. Like that's why those books are so fucking big. It's because like he takes unnecessary time to like describe all the like delicious food and just like, and then just not the food probably, but just like going almost kind of like a Stephen King where you go into like kind of super too much detail sometimes.
Way too much prose. Almost like the old, early 20th century or even a little before that when everything was flowery for no reason. Yeah. Imagine what his books are like before he edited them and cut stuff.
Oh
man. I never read those books either because they're just doorstops. I can't.
And I don't know if he's what else he's really done other than those.
I don't think he's done anything that I know of.
Because he's getting old, because a lot of people are worried about if he's even going to finish him before he dies. He's already not going to get it done before the TV series ends.
Yeah, they kind of had to change things on the fly. Then here you have Stephen King, who just knocks out like a book every couple months.
He got a new one coming out.
I know, I saw that. It's ridiculous. I don't know how you keep up.
Well, that's why, like, I'm never, like, I buy them, but I'm normally always, like, 4 or 5 Stephen King books behind.
What do you want now?
The Reverend, or the Revival, I think is what it was called, was the last Stephen King book I read. And then, so if I'm going to go in publishing order, the next one is the Mr. Mercedes.
I heard that's really good. I read some excerpts from it.
And I probably would have started it already, but somehow I missed I had the first 2 books because it's a trilogy. I got the first 2 books, and somehow I missed grabbing the third one. And, like, I've seen it at bookstores, like, in paperback, but, like, I have the other 2 in hardback, and from a certain point in time, I have all the Stephen Kings in hardback, so it's just me, like, getting on Amazon and,
right.
like, and ordering it or something, you know, to...
Have you read Dr. Sleep yet?
Yes.
How was that?
I enjoyed it.
That's a sequel to The Shining, right?
Yes. It's little Danny, all grown up. He still kind of has the shine to a certain point. And the reason they call him Dr. Sleepy is because he kind of works at, like, this older kind of, like, nursing home / like, where, like, the patients that are towards the end of their life go. And every time a patient is about, like, they think it's about to, you know, kick the bucket, they have him go, and he can kind of use his shine a little bit to kind of help.
Yeah,
help them pass, kind of. So he got the nickname of Dr. Sleepy. So after they establish that, they show this, like, traveling, like, kind of not Connie, but, like, they travel in like the big not SUVs, but the big, like, camper trucks and stuff like that.
Like a traveling circus kind of deal.
Kind of, but, like, they're not a circus, but, like, that kind of thing. I think they might, if I remember correctly, they might have equated it more to kind of like the gypsies almost, like that kind of just from town to town.
Roving gang.
But they were a part of, like, the weird cult people that were at the hotel from The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, what they do is, like, they try to find these people with, like, that are strong in The Shining, and, like, they, like, feed off of them, like, they feed off the shine, which kills them, but then keeps them, like, alive. Because a lot of them should already be old and should be dead by now, but they use that. And so there's this girl in the town that Danny lives in now, and she's really, like, stronger than what he was ever with the shine. So it's, like, them traveling there to try to get the girl and him to protect her from that group.
How big is this book?
I mean, I think the hardcover was around, like, 500, something like that, 6 at the most. Like, not super big considering, you know.
Yeah, compared to some of his other stuff. See, I just haven't been able to go down the Stephen King rabbit hole. Just too much.
Yeah, I always tell you, dude, just let me know.
Right.
I got them, so.
Well, I just bought 3 more of those Barnes & Noble special collections. Those big-ass books. I got 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which I should have probably got the Jules Verne collection because that had all his novels, but this one was only $10. And from what I remember hearing, Jules Verne is, like, really verbose, and there's a lot of plant talk, and almost like how Herman Melville and Moby Dick was just talking about whaling for way too long. It's like a similar thing. You talk about plants and shit, so I don't know if I'll like that. So I figure I'll try, because I never read any Jules Verne before. And then I got Neil Gaiman's, it's a double book, American Gods.
Okay.
And the sequel to that, I forget the name of it. Starts with an A.
I heard those are good. I haven't read a lot of Neil Gaiman.
I never read any of his. The only thing I ever read of his, I think, was
The Sandman.
Yeah, from the last book, and that was really good. So.
Yeah.
And then I got like a Chinese philosophy book, and has like the Art of War and stuff in it. But I'm almost done with H.P. Lovecraft. So I took a big break, and I only had 2 stories left when I took it. But the last 2 were Shadow Out of Time, which is like 180 pages or something like that. It's just really dense text. I finished that last night, and then I have one more story that's only a couple.
I'm still. It's been a while since I cracked open a novel, but recently, the past 2 weeks, I've been able to read not only like my weekly comic output of single issues, but I also read since like Free Comic Book Day, the first volume of the new Ninjak series. I got caught up there on 2 or 3 volumes of Copperhead. I got caught up on 3 volumes of Birthright. I am doing the new. I started the newest volume of The Walking Dead. So like I almost knocked out about like 9 trades in the past like 2 weeks. So I figured maybe that's what I'll keep on that for like another week. Knock my
catch all up.
Because like I have like a big stack of trades, especially with Free Comic Book Day not too far past at this point, where I bought like you buy 2 get 1 free on trades. Like,
son of a bitch.
Yeah, right.
Always. How
So,
was that Copperhead series? Because I only read the first one.
It's really good. I like it. If you want to think about getting into it more, let me know, and I'll let you.
After I finish this Lovecraft, I might take a break and. Because I got a big ass pile of fucking comics.
Did you like the first volume? Did you think?
Yeah, it was alright. That's the Western on like
a different planet, like the sci-fi Western.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I gave it like a B or something. It was interesting. I would like to see more of that Black Hammer.
Well, the second volume of that's out. That was really good.
Yeah, check that out. And
like he has a couple little mini series or like on like that spun off of that now too. So that's more to check with that. Did you see that Descender is ending?
Good. Now I can finally catch up on it and get all the issues I have to get and read it.
I think it was this last order book, so I think in like another 3 or 4 months is the last issue, I do believe.
Do you know what issue they're on?
I think they were like in the 30s, like the mid to low 30s.
I think I'm in the 20s, so I'm actually not too far off. I don't have too much to buy then.
Because like, that was one of those books they do like a story arc, take like a month or 2 off, get caught up, do another story arc.
I need to start reading some more modern books too. I got that whole Edgar Allan Poe collection I want to read.
I got so close to, I was looking on Amazon the other day, and I almost ordered the new, I can't remember the name of it, but the new Andy Weiner,
Andy Weir?
Andy Weir. Andy Weir.
Is it that the Artemis?
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
I almost got that too, but I read some of the reviews on it. Some were good, but some were saying, I don't think it was hokey, but it's like a weird sci-fi mystery or something on the moon.
It's like the I don't think it's not a band. I think it's like a casino robbery on the moon.
Yeah, something like it. So it wasn't it's an actual like a real science fiction story versus like The Martian, which
it had more like.
That's a hard book to follow up. That was really good.
Yeah, that's the only reason that I always wanted to check it out was because how much I enjoyed The Martian.
I don't think Artemis was very long though, so I might pick that up this summer just to give it a quick read.
I've also been thinking about picking up the book version of there's this TV show called The Magicians on Sci-Fi.
You were telling me about that.
It's really good. They just finished the 3rd season and I really enjoyed it. And it's a trilogy of books that it's based off of. And I thought about picking at least the first one of that up just to.
I was thinking about once I get more caught up on things, get into the Expanse series.
Yeah.
Now that the show's canceled,
is it canceled?
Yeah, they canceled it.
Oh, so after this season, it's
done.
They canceled a whole bunch of stuff. Fox canceled a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah, they canceled Lucifer.
That made me mad. I just watched the season finale this morning. Oh, it was so good. And then it fucking got shit canned.
They're trying to get that on CW.
I think it'd be better on like Sci-Fi.
Probably. But Sci-Fi cut a bunch of shows too, so I don't know. What was the other show Fox canceled? It was another big one. Oh, no, it wasn't.
They cut
Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
but like NBC or something picked that up.
Did they?
Some other network picked it up.
Oh, that's good. I like that they do that now. They just pick up shows that get dumped off. That's a good idea. Be cool to see Lucifer on Netflix.
That could be interesting.
I know a lot of people are upset about The Expanse. I never got into the show yet. But
I watched the first season.
Yeah,
And
you told me
then
it was really good.
I enjoyed it. I just missed the second season and the hustle and bustle of trying to watch everything. And then I just haven't had a chance to get caught up on the second season to watch the third season. But that's going to suck too because like I don't think there's no way they can wrap any of that up because of just how long that book series is. Like you can't fit that into 3 series of the 3 seasons.
Yeah, that book series, because I was going to start it and I went to the bookstore and saw how many there were. I was like, fuck.
And they're big too, right?
They're doorstops, each one. Ain't nobody got time for that. Speaking of nobody got time, I think we're almost at an hour.
And we spent like half the podcast talking about what we were supposed to.
We never came up with the actual story.
Oh, we came up with a couple.
So, haunted hooker comes back, possessed dudes' dicks. The dicks get cut off and fly around and infect the country with flying dick monsters.
Yeah, it's kind of like that gluten episode of South Park.
Yeah, shoot off. Alright. Well, that was fun.
But so you might have a flash fiction that partners up with this episode, maybe, if we can get anything from all that we were throwing around out there.
I'll find out when I edit.
Yeah.
Alright, folks. I hope you enjoyed the hooker talk. See you later.
Hooker podcast.
Hooker pocket. We didn't come up with a hooker name for the story. Hormageddon.
Hormageddon. The Thunder Down Under.
Ooh, well, that would be in Australia. And not
Australian hooker.
Ooh, well, how do you kill an Australian hooker?
They're tough.
You
need like an alligator and like an ostrich.
Oh, they're as tough as a $2 steak from Costco. All right, folks. See you later.
Bye.